Hello everyone, welcome back to Durbanites FPL Game Week 17 review, Game Week 18 preview. We are almost at the halfway point, guys. I hope things are going well for you. Let's have a look at the league, starting with the table. Right up top, Suad again, 6th week in a row, taking a chance here. A massive 41-point jump this week, or 83 points ahead of the second place, and after that it gets a bit tight. But look at that first page, everybody in the 900s, two of them going into the thousands. Big jumps for Zax as well, up to the 6th position, very close on pots and pans, and just closely followed there by Atta as well. Fatih coming back into the first page as well, so both the teams are back. Really good performance from them. Looking at the second page, one of the champs is up at the top of the second page, challenging now, just 7 points away from jumping into the top 10. Then we got Frosty, look at another big jumper there, Coconuts down 89 points for the week, and the rest of them not a particularly great showing for this week as well. Now, looking at what that means in terms of player selections, Erling Haaland still at the top, 18 managers favoring him. Antoine Semenyo making a bit of a recovery, but Bournemouth's fixtures are going to get tight, guys, so time to look at that. Phil Foden and Trevor Chalobah coming in just over the halfway mark, making up the staples for this week. Looking at the differentiators, though, two goalkeepers, not often that we have this, but Kevin Kelleher and Bart Verbruggen both coming in, one manager each selecting them. Fantastic selection there. Anthony Gordon as well, favoured by one and coming in with double digits. Nick Woltemade with a brace and Morgan Rogers with a brace, both of them owned by 2 out of 10 managers. Dominic Calvert-Lewin now 6 goals in 5 games for Leeds, also 2 managers favouring him and picking up 13 points as a result. Fantastic. And Declan Rice, the most popular among the differentiators, owned by 7 managers, picking up double figures this week, so definitely one to watch for Arsenal. Now, looking at what that meant for the league so far, Centurion is up, so Suad with 111 points for that week. Fantastic play by her as well. Triple captain on Erling Haaland really did help. Golden boots as well for Hassan Ahmed, Zax and Mohamed Saad. Fantastic, going over 50 points. Guys, you'll notice that the elite strikers are missing, and the main reason for that is we had so many of them. Everyone that captained Erling Haaland, so 18 out of 20 managers captain Erling Haaland, every single one of them got 30 plus points. Because of that, it just became insane to show them all, so we haven't, but congratulations to everyone that did get that. And in terms of defense as well, Suad, Fatih, Sai, Squish once again, and Ansu all getting more than 20 points. I myself fell victim of not playing my chip in time last week for a bench boost. I had the team set up. As you can see, 19 plus points wasted. That would have really helped me in the race. But anyway, no crying over spilt milk. I've got to take the hit this week. Looking at what that meant for the best possible selection, guys. Up at the back, Kelleher gets the number 1 spot for Bruggen on the bench with 11. Very light on defenders this week. Not a lot happening by them. And Matthias Cunha also getting pushed by the bench just because of the forwards. But on the midfield, you've got Rice, Semenyo, Gordon and Rogers. Up front, Woltemade, Haaland with the captain's armband, and Calvert-Lewin. Look at that for our front line. Insane. But that was so good that Cunha, even with 9, could not get onto the field. 138 with that team, so not the highest that we've had on the field, mainly because some players had to sit out because of the 3 defender rule, but 170 if you had a bench boost with a total cost of 98.9, so still a very affordable team should anyone want to make that change. Now, going forward, let's look at the matchup for the next 10 weeks. You can see, guys, that game week 18, 19, 20 and 21 are happening in very quick succession. So between now and the 6th of January, in the next 10 days, there are 4 game weeks before we have a slight break until game week 22. So get ready for a very busy period. During that time, Arsenal have a bit of tricky fixtures here. Brighton this week, not a bad fixture for them. But then looking at Aston Villa, Bournemouth and Liverpool, 3 in a row there. Aston Villa, as we know, have beaten Arsenal earlier in the season. Time for them to come back and try again. Same for Aston Villa. Chelsea this week, not easy by any long shot. Then Arsenal again in that return fixture before they get a bit of a break, and of course on their form you would favour them after that. Chelsea again, Villa this week, Bournemouth next week, not the easiest. Then Manchester City. After that gets a little bit easier, but after game week 24 you're looking at favouring a lot of Chelsea players. The news from Enzo Maresca is that Cole Palmer, Carlton Palmer, where am I going with that? Cole Palmer will play 90 minutes against Aston Villa if required. So it looks like he's coming back to fitness, but he's not there yet. But I assume from game week 24, you might look at moving to him. So just watch your finances in that time. Then looking at the teams that we favor, Brentford have a fairly good winnable fixtures coming up as well against teams that have been struggling a bit with form. Don't forget, guys, with Bournemouth, there's a lot of speculation now that in the January transfer window, Antoine Semenyo will move to Manchester City. Still not confirmed yet. We're waiting for the here we go on that. But if he does, then expect that Bournemouth will have a very tough time coming up. Then you've got Crystal Palace as well. Good games against Spurs, who are really struggling, and then Fulham before they take on Newcastle away. They are having some injury issues, but otherwise still backed. Everton as well, really strong defensively against Burnley this week. I would favour the Pickfords, Tarkowskis and the Keens. Keen for a shorter term punt because Jared Brantwaite should be back soon, and once he's back, I figure he will take on the number 1 spot in fullback. Liverpool have 2 fantastic back-to-back games, guys. If you're looking at putting in Ekitike, possibly. Alexander Isak now with a broken foot is out for at least a couple of months. Cody Gakpo is not really back at full fitness, so it looks like Ekitike has that front spot all his for the next couple of weeks at least. A chance for him to really cement it, and he has been on great form. So 5 goals in the last 3 games, so definitely one to watch. Newcastle with a tricky fixture against Manchester United, who do have players missing, but after that, look at Burnley, Leeds and Wolves, and with the Crystal Palace game as well in between. Not a bad run for the next 3 to 4 weeks there, looking at players like Walter Wissa or Anthony Gordon, so really should be exciting for them in the next couple of weeks, a chance to climb up the ladder. And then with West Ham also, they haven't been doing too badly. They are, of course, really low in the table currently. However, they have a chance to bounce back with games against Fulham, Wolves and Notts Forest before taking on also Sunderland. And in between they have Brighton and Spurs, both of which are winnable, especially since those teams are currently struggling a little bit. So there's a good run of games coming up for West Ham. Probably a good call out for Jared Bowen there or Lucas Paqueta if that's where you're looking to go. But just think about those teams as you go through as well. Now, looking at our recommendations, guys, for the back line, Pope is still doubtful for Newcastle, but he should start. Aaron Ramsdale is having a bit of a tough time. Let's see how that will go. But our picks are Kevin Kelleher for Brentford this week, Alisson for Liverpool over the next couple of weeks, and Leno for Fulham. From the defensive side, you can see Levi Colwill still out, probably out for the entire season. Jared Brantwaite is currently out and looking to make his way back. Arsenal are struggling a little bit there. Gabriel and Mosquera are definitely out. Hincapié is doubtful, so just be on the lookout for him. Saliba is definitely all good to go, and Ben White probably as well as Jurriën Timber. Newcastle struggling a bit at the back as well. Botman, Byrne and Livramento out for this game. So looks like they might have to really go with a backup defensive backline. Not sure how that will work out for them. Probably looking at Shearer leading the line at the back. Daniel Munoz still out for Crystal Palace. Richards have picked up a knock, so he is highly doubtful and probably will not play. And then you've got Cuti Romero after that red card. Insanity, not being able to play because of suspension. Our picks from Arsenal, Timber and Saliba seem to be locked on, as will be Lacroix and Guehi because of the injuries to Crystal Palace. Van Dijk for Liverpool over the next couple of weeks should be solid. If you're looking for a cheaper option, you can go Ibrahima Konate, Guardiola and or Nico Riley for Manchester City, who are definitely looking much better now as they start the challenge on Arsenal. Then you've got Marcus Senesi for Bournemouth. Like I said earlier, Bournemouth might start struggling a little bit as the fixtures get a bit tight, so just watch on that one. Joachim Anderson doing really well last week. Fulham's got another good game this week, so definitely calling him out. And Nathan Collins doing well for Brentford. Then on the midfield side, Xavi Simons was also suspended in that Liverpool match for a rake on Virgil van Dijk, so quite unfortunate. He's suspended as well. And Spurs have to add to that James Maddison and Dejan Kulusevski, both still out and probably out for most of the season. Rodri's still out at Manchester City. Gakpo is doubtful, as we mentioned earlier, and Soboslai suspended. So Liverpool as well, not that strong in the middle. Looking at how they're going to fold that up, possibly some time for Rio Ngamoa to play as well. Let's see how that will work out. Keenan Dewsbury Hall is still out for Everton. Keep an eye on him, guys, because as he comes back, Everton do have a good run of games coming up, and you might want to look at him or Grealish in that midfield. And then you've got Bruno Fernandes, guys. After last week's injury, he is probably out for a couple of months. Definitely putting pressure on Manchester United, but a chance for other players to play. Unfortunately, Kobe Mainoo, who's been waiting in the wings for a chance to play, is also injured at Manchester United, so will not probably get a game this week, but might get it in the weeks to come. And then we've got Harry Wilson. He is doubtful, but chances he will play for Fulham. They are also quite depleted because of AFCON departures, so look at him to play and hopefully contribute in this game. In terms of our picks, we've got Ryan Cherki, who's doing really well at City, and Phil Foden, Semenyo for Bournemouth, and Tavernier as well, Saka and Rice for Arsenal. We've dropped Eze out of this list now. He doesn't seem to be locked on for minutes currently, so quite a gamble if you put him on. Cole Palmer for Chelsea, especially this week, since Enzo did say he could get 90 minutes and then look to improve on that. Matheus Cunha for Manchester United in the absence of Bumo and Bruno Fernandes. He's probably locked in that team. And then you've got Harry Wilson for Fulham and Morgan Rogers, who is outperforming all his data and doing really well currently for Aston Villa. And then finally, guys, looking at the forwards, that list is getting shorter, but it's still quite critical. Kai Havertz is out for Arsenal, and with Victor Gyökeres not really firing on all cylinders. I mean, he's got himself a penalty last week, but other than that, nothing much more to write home about. Dominic Solanke is still out for Spurs, and they are really reeling, where Richarlison is probably their only route to goal. Kolomwani is starting to look a bit promising, but Spurs themselves are struggling at this moment. Chris Wood still out for a longer term, as is Rodrigo Muniz. Alexander Isak, broken leg with a challenge from Mickey van der Ven. Guys, he's out for another couple of months, so definitely no chance of him playing this week. So if you've got him, it's time to sell and use that money elsewhere. Danny Welbeck is still doubtful for Brighton this week and is going to go up against Arsenal. Not sure whether he will get a run out. In terms of the picks, you cannot go without picking Erling Haaland. He is on insane form this season, probably going to break all sorts of records in a calendar year and in a full season. Tricky game for them this week, but still a chance for him to score. Ekitike for Liverpool, like I say, good recommendation here, and also a captaincy option, playing against Wolves, the worst defense in the league currently, and Ekitike is definitely wily enough to get around those defenders. Thiago's got a good fixture again this week as well, and Evan Nilsson is a chance that you can take for Bournemouth. Calvert-Lewin is doing really well, guys. Just set the scoring record for most weeks with consecutive goals. Is for Leeds itself. It's got 6 in 5 game weeks now, so definitely one to look at. Good game against Sunderland where he possibly could score. Not sure if they will win, but definitely scoring is on the table. Then you've got the Newcastle duo of Waltemade and Wissa. Waltemade with a brace against Chelsea this past week. Definitely a striker on form, and Wissa is looking dangerous. Not sure if they will play one or both of them against Manchester United to try and press that defense. Your choice on which one you want to go with, but that's the recommendation that we have for now. So with that, that's the end of the week, guys. There are going to be very, very quick game weeks in succession between now and January 6th, so please don't forget to like, subscribe, definitely turn on the notification bell so that you can see these videos come up. Don't forget that we are in game week 18. It is the last chance for you to use those chips. If you don't use the chips in this week coming up, you have next week to use one single chip as well. After that, it is reset. And again, just a reminder, guys, after the game week 19 deadline, which is the next deadline, that's when the chips will refresh. So you have this deadline and the next deadline to use them. After that, you will have all new chips, and any chips you use are all that you have left for the rest of the season. So don't forget to do that. That's all we have for now. Until the next one. So long.